of seafood and put it inside the Newport facility, use it to fill in that Newport facility. And I think that it got a lot of people angry. So I tell you, it got the Prime Minister angry. And there was several weeks ago a number of statements made as regards what has to be done to convince persons and the environmental impact assessments and so forth, the studies that have to be done to ensure that there is going to be no or minimal environmental impact and damage, or they have to find their source that they were looking to get it from, get that material, to use that material. It was clear that the company was trying to cut some corners to get some cheap material when they had, or in their bid, they had probably estimated that they may have to spend $40-50 million to get material. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? And that they could now get it free or cheap in order to backfill in that port to build a port of the best quality. So I suppose courts is going to be calling in soon, right? Yes. And after courts, I want to dig down into this a little bit because I want to talk to you about dredging. I want to talk to you about something called seagrass. And of course, you know about coral. And I want to talk a little about the whole environment, marine environment, and how important the marine environment is to the way we breathe and global warming. I want to talk a little about that. And I think it may be a good revelation in terms of getting people to understand really where this project is at and what they want to do, how important it is, and how important that it is done properly. So I don't know, it's now 8:30.
8:29.
And 8:29, okay. And this is what I'll talk about. There's no point in me really getting into the details and start talking about dredging and so forth. When we come back.
All right,
you know,
yes.
I'd rather dig down into this and open up the lines, get people's views
No pun
on top of
intended.
this, and let's see what's happening. Okay?
All right, so we're gonna run a Courts ad and then come right back and await a live link up with Courts in Vincent Limited this morning.
Are you into the agricultural industry? Do you want the funds to grow your business? Quartz Ready Cash Small Business Loans is launching the $20 million agricultural fund. All you need to apply is your ID, proof of address, and 2 references, and you will receive the funding to get the equipment, tools, products, staffing, and services to grow your business. Plus, you pay nothing down, get flexible payment terms, fast approval, and convenient hassle-free service. Don't hesitate. Apply today at www.readyfinancecaribbean.com or call 493-3840. Quartz Ready Cash Small Business Loans. Every day we help businesses succeed.
While we await the live link up, let me just read this comment here before we get into it. Dr. T is a good example of the town country saga. He also lived in Kingston Park. Yeah? Okay, no denying there. And I think for a short time. Yeah? Could I read out all your business?
In the avenues, everybody who lives in Kingston has someone or relative from the countryside. Yes. I lived when I grew up in England, so I came back, lived in Mackey's Hill. Then I lived in Arnersville, right? lived in Prospect. Yeah, for a brief period, I was in Kingston Park, maybe for 2 months or so. But I currently live in Montrose, interest in Prospect and so. But no, there is no doubt my principal address is Chateau Bel Air. And I'm a proud Leeward man. I'm a proud Black Garifuna man. I always say Garifuna blood runs in my veins. And we're the Leeward Caribs. You know what I'm saying?
Listening.
Leeward Garifuna. And yes, it doesn't matter where you live, it's where your heart really is.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
All
you
right.
you could be in Afghanistan, you could be in London, you could be in Barbados, you could be in New York, Boston, or Texas. Those are also your homes. But if your home is where your heart is, then mine is always down there on the leeward side of the island.
All right.
I will say down there, up there on the leeward side of the island. That's very important to say.
True, geographically speaking.
You bet, geographically speaking. I'm pretty sure some person would call and text and say, Doc, why are you using down? And matter of fact, that's a derogatory term. They say down, you look down and so forth. Tongue is
It
up
depends.
and so forth.
It depends.
Chateaubriand is the place up. Georgetown is up. Fancy is up. And yeah, we gotta look at it.
I would like to know where that came from.
It's
when
a
they say
it's a
down, going
it's a
down.
revisionist. It's a revisionist that how could you say you're going down to Chateaubriand, or down to Rose Hall? When Rose Hall is at a higher elevation anyway.
Yeah, going up Rose Hall.
Yes.
By going downtown.
You downtown, yes, if from Kittels, you're going downtown.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or from Bible, you're going downtown.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
it's part of a revisionist to raise the level of consciousness and so.
All right. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Everyone's been to WEFM. I'm calling from Courts Ready Cash.
Hi, welcome to WEFM 99.9. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Good for the time being. Thank you very much. All right, so listeners, it's time for Courts Ready Cash this morning.
Okay, so right now we have on offer, if you take a cash loan with us of $3,000 or more, you get the chance to come in and spin our wheel and gain the chance to win multiple prizes, such as a 15% off voucher, a grocery voucher, 20% off radio cash, or a LaBelle foot service voucher. And you'll also be entered into the grand prize draw. So win staycation for 2 at Beachcombers Hotel.
Nice.
And all you would need is your picture ID, 2 pieces if you're a new customer, a recent job letter and salary slip, and proof of address in the form of a recent utility bill or bank statement. For our farmers and fisher folk, we also have our agricultural fund. This is a $20 million fund that's spread across the OECS. You can take a maximum of $27,000, and what you would need for this is the business must have a fixed location. You'll need your valid proof of identification. You would need your utility bill, any present sales and purchases record that you have for the past 3 months, and you would need to state the purpose of the loan. Maybe you need to buy some equipment. Maybe you need to expand on the raw materials that you have in order to expand your business. You can come in and speak with our microfinance officer. She can also be contacted at telephone number 493-3840 for more information. We're opened Mondays to Fridays, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. and on Saturdays from 8 a.m. until 12 p.m. and we're located opposite the Kingston Post Office.
Okay. And did you give the telephone number?
No, I didn't. It's 4561325 and you extensions 2120 through 2124.
And your website?
Okay, so it's readyfinancecaribbean.com.
Okay, lovely. I know sometimes people on Carnival is coming around the corner. Are there any restrictions as to what persons can purchase when we come for a loan?
When they come, unless it's the microfinance loan, which is specifically for business owners, small business owners.
Mhm.
When you come and take a personal loan, there is no requirements, and it's also a hassle-free process. You don't need to provide any collateral. You just come in with the necessary documentation, and we'll process you. 12-hour turnaround.
All right. It's all right. It offers to farmers as well.
Yes, we do.
All right.
So,
Look, go ahead.
right. So, yes, I know that I would have offered a lot of information this morning. I also want to tell you we have a loan. If you take a loan of $4,000 or more, we'll pay your first installment for you. So we have lots to offer customers here at Courts Ready Cash, and we're inviting you to just come in and check us out. We're ready when you are.
All right. Lovely. Thank you so much, and you have a wonderful day.
Okay, thank you so much. All right,
All
bye-bye.
right. Thanks. All right. And if you're looking to take out a loan to purchase anything at all, Courts Ready Cash is the place for you. It's time for a break, and when we come right back, we'll continue with our discussion this morning.
We're celebrating style at Courts with a wide range of trendy and fashionable furniture to outfit your home. Save on quality living, dining, and bedroom sets for any space. Shop today with no cash and pay later. We're celebrating style at the Courts Furniture Event. Courts, bringing value home. Special conditions apply.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It's a whole new world out there, reaching new customers and getting products faster. That's what it's all about. Ocean freight rates are skyrocketing, so don't pay more for slower service. It's time to switch to faster, more reliable air cargo service with SkyMax Cargo. Up to 3 flights weekly to and from the USA, Puerto Rico, and the Caribbean islands, providing excellent import, export, and e-commerce solutions to put you ahead of the competition. For special low rates on small packages and air cargo, contact SkyMax today. 784-456-5400. With Patrick Cargo, call 784-456-5400 to book your shipments today.
That's the sound of your animals. Strong, healthy, delivering you love. That didn't just happen. It began with you feeding them best. East Caribbean Feed. We only produce your feeds with vitamin, no hormone, no animal byproducts. Everything your animal needs for maximum nutrition, because your animals deserve only the best. East Feeds from nutrition.
Whatever you are celebrating, birthdays, anniversaries, engagements, retirement, or just celebrating life. Bar Kings, established for over 38 years, we are open breakfast, lunch, and dinner with an exquisite ambiance, each menu, and 3 a la carte menus to choose from. And your flexible request, we go above and beyond to serve you. Basil's Bar Kingstown, where it's an adventure. Call for reservations at 457-2713.
Boy, that's where you can crush now. Your brakes real good, boy.
Now brakes alone, that's good too.
Tires? Where you get them tires?
Out by Caribbean Tire Plus. They can't miss it. Look for the orange container. Plenty parking space and open 7 days a week all day. Saturday 8 a.m. 6 p.m. On Sundays 9 a.m. Yeah. Call them today. Caribbean Tire Plus 784-432-786 or email tiresplus@gmail.com.
WEFM reminds and encourages the general public and users of the Kittles Beach to keep it clean at all times. Discard of all garbage properly. It is illegal to remove the sand from the beach. Let us keep the Kittles Beach and other beaches across St. Vincent and the Grenadines clean so that you and I can enjoy it and marine life can survive. This is a message from WEFM 99.9, the Clean Town.
In observance of Heroes Day, Republic Bank wants to help you own a piece of the gem of the Antilles with land built easy and mortgage loans at the lowest interest rates. Here's Go Places, and so can you. with 100% financing on new vehicles and loans. Heroes go for their dreams. You can too with the Make It Happen loan up to $40,000 unsecured. With Republic, you enjoy flexible repayment and the best credit card services on SVG. Heroes never settle when there's a better choice. Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
WEFM 99.9.
All right, welcome back and thank you for holding. My name is Christal. We have in studio as well this morning Dr. Thompson joining us. We're going to go up until 9:45 this morning. So we're talking about dredging and the port project. So let's continue. We're going to dig deep into it right now.
We got to get to four things, four complex issues. Chris, what is big today? The whole issue of environmental protection and global warming, climate change. It is massive. It's affecting us left, right, and center. Another aspect of that is what is the ocean in relation to this whole thing of global warming? That's the second point. And then on the other hand, we have major issues around the world of inflation. And the construction of the port in Kingston is a major effort at reducing the growth and rise of inflation. Let me start. Oh, well, you know, a lot of our goods come from the Far East and come through the Panama Canal. And, about 10 plus years ago, Panama Canal that could take bigger boats. The old Panama Canal that was finished building in 1910, way back when, its time. And boats, a massive container boat coming through the old Panama Canal. But massive boats can't come to a place like St. Vincent because our puny Port Kingston would fall apart if I had a massive boat just put up on it. You see the car boat coming? Well, a container rail boat is twice the size of the car boat that you see coming in. You know what I mean? So what they do, these bigger boats, they offload them in other places, like Mobile, Alabama, or South Carolina. And from there, being put on smaller boats, they bring them down to the Caribbean. So you could imagine if those boats would come straight through and land at a place like St. Vincent that has a port that could take these massive boats, you could see how cost of goods could be a little cheaper. Matter of fact, a lot cheaper, because we could actually be a transshipment port ourselves for stuff going down to further down South America, to Brazil and to Suriname and those other places. The point I'm making is that a number of Caribbean islands have been expanding their ports, but a number haven't. Lucia hasn't done it, Grenada hasn't done it. But what will happen is by expanding your port in a major way, you could lower the cost, reduce the risk of inflation, goods here a little cheaper. You don't know how much the cost of bringing a container here to St. Vincent has increased. It'd be about $3,000-4,000 US. Now it's shot up. Massive amounts of money to bring a container here, I am understanding. And the was buying each item in that container. You know what I mean? And that's adding to the inflation. This rise in container costs has shot up since the pandemic, right? During the pandemic and since the pandemic. And It's unfair, but the one way of busting this is by construct sport. The big issue in the port is that it's going to cost over 600 million to build. Already, they've had to really power over the hill there, you know, to Lomond Bay. Had to do a whole set of things are being done. Traffic is going to be routed, the hospital, the relationship, whole set of issues going to today. The UK government, the government agency, and they fund. But the thing is fully funded. Saying you must be strict about your environmental concerns. So we're gonna get the and we got the money to build it on St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Plus, the stuff I was telling you about is that when Kingston, the old Kingston port moves down, you'll be amazed at the potential, what's going to do to Kingston. I mean, as I say, you heard me, I'm from Chateaubriand, but it's going to really be a magnificence in terms of the services, greening it a little bit more, having it for visitors. You know, we got South River, have the iron, a lot of places, but I'm hoping there'll be little spots of greenery that's able to be put in places. And I see that, like, okay, green area there, you know, we need a few more of those. So we don't have to put everything on the concrete, but I just throw that in to say that the main thing isn't so much the greening. It's going to be shops, vendors. I mean, if you are into making stuff and so forth, you can have a small stall there and booth and so forth for visitors and things like that. I mean, you know what I mean?
Rent in Kingston will kill you. The rent in Kingston will kill you.
Rent in Kingston will kill you. But this is going to be government trying to make sure that people have these services. So it's not going to be private sector over to you in a sense. Hopefully, it's going to encourage individuals to have, you go to places where they have massive places where they hold hundreds of vendors. And I don't know how much those people are paying, but I'm sure the rent ain't killing those people. I see people who are into, and also the performing arts. I see a lot of things developing with the old things down. So that's the future. That's one end. Newport, we got the money to build it and so forth. But to build it, you backfill, and they've been looking to get some material from dredging. So let's go the opposite way now, the environment. Now, Christal, I consider myself a conservationist, right? And I'm always concerned about the environment. Matter of fact, the area they're looking to dredge stretches all the way down to where Salt Pond is. They're not dredging down to Salt Pond, they're coming down to this area. But I recall when I was in special projects dealing with the Argyle International Airport, looking at the environmental impact of the ocean and looking at those studies. And I was able to pull them out and look at them again. It's very interesting. But I want to introduce something called seagrass. Have you ever heard of that before? Seagrass?
For them, yeah.
Boy, seagrass is important. Do you know that there's plants that go in the sea? These have leaves, flowers, they produce seeds, they have roots, and seagrass is one of the predominant types. There were about 70 types of seagrass. In the Caribbean, there's a very special type of seagrasses. And they have an even greater impact in terms of climate change than the forest on land. So you have plants that's on land, and you have plants in the sea. Now, let me tell you, do you know those plants, seagrasses? They soak up almost 25% of the carbon dioxide that is being produced by us, humans, or by industry. The ocean is a big blue sink, carbon sink. and soaks up this carbon dioxide. But what's soaking it up are these plants, as well as some very small plants called phytoplankton. So plants in the ocean are taking in carbon dioxide, and guess what? They're putting out oxygen. Do you know 50% of the oxygen we breathe come from the plants in the ocean? The ocean.
Sorry, in the ocean.
50% from ocean. Not so much from oxygen that come off of trees and forest and mangrove and so forth. Well, mangrove is considered to be part of an ocean. But this stuff is so important. So the big issue is that if dredging is going to take place, then how is it going to seagrass? How is it going to affect the coral? How is it going to affect these particular issues? Because of that impact assessment on Argyle level, they have done some assessment way back when, 2010, looking at the Argyle area. That whole area from all the way down. And they did not find much in the way of seagrass, or they did not find much in the way of, matter of fact, they didn't find coral. Matter of fact, from that Argyle area there, as you go out, there's like a little ledge, and then that ledge drops off. And there wasn't really much fish there, and all that. But even with that study, you wouldn't know exactly if that study was accurate, or if there is still seagrass in an area they didn't look for it. You know what I'm saying?
I have a question.
Yeah.
What was the purpose of doing this study in 2010?
So that as they were excavating Argyle and moving mountains, rain would wash out soil. The soil would go into the sea, and there'll be a couple more inches of silt on the ocean floor.
Okay.
And if there was fish and coral there, it might smother the stuff. What you don't want for coral is a whole set of silt and soil off of the hills, down the rivers, and covering over your coral. You don't want, because coral is the area where our fish loves to breathe. Seagrass is the area where fish loves to breathe. You see, we love a green spot. I'm telling you about green spot.
It's like a little chill spot.
Huh?
It's like a little chilling spot.
A chill spot. The fish love a chill spot. the fish love a green area. Now, all on the leeward side, there's seagrass, lovely seagrass, and the Grenadine seagrass. But there was suggestion that it was. So this company that's looking to the construction came and said, look, we basically had some divers, old study 2010, and there's nothing there. And the Prime Minister rightly said that I think I'm not taking what you said, and I don't know if that study was done totally properly. I don't want to rely on that. We need a trust by an independent entity to tell us from the area you think you want to take, you know, and as of now, no, you can't dredge. You can't do any dredge. And the same question you have, what is this dredging? What is, well, they've said that they take off inches of the floor. They're in and going feet deep, and so they can a few inches off. But now they have agreed to do a full-fledged barometric study, which is a very technical set of study that takes pictures of that ocean flow, of that shoreline flow, to get the full details of every square inch. If there's seagrass there, dredge in that area. You understand? If there's coral there, you cannot dredge in. Yes. Now, the initial editorial there, but to read something in that, you know, who wants your stuff. I'm saying, so this barometric study, and a team has been put together of notable environmental to be able to monitor this and also look at the pictures, not running back and saying, don't worry, we'll take care of you, we'll fix you up. There's nothing there. You know what I mean? One has to see this very, 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 very clearly, and reports come out that this study, not relying on all studies. So it's going to be very interesting. The other thing too that's come out is if you are permitted to take those few inches of silt, therefore, what is going to be the actual cost? Because I don't have the figure they had estimated to spend to fill up what is, to backfill it and to fence there. But they must have estimated a substantial amount of money. And initially, they came up with $1 million they would like to pay. And with some consultations and so forth, it's now been up to $20 million. Which, that's a very interesting phenomenon. But for me, the main thing suggests that they were probably looking to have to spend maybe $30-40 million on finding material somewhere else, having to transport it to Kingston Harbor and things like that. And they're not easy. But the issue is not, even if you want the port and the impact of the port and want it done on time, the issue is that it cannot mean that there is environmental degradation and damage at the same time. And for sure, seagrass, which is plants in the ocean, soaking up some of the carbon dioxide, put oxygen, be destroyed. And so this barometric study is something that I want to watch very, very, very carefully. And I'm not on the committee or anything. I want to know. And I want to make sure that no degradation. If they see it, then they'll find the sale from somewhere else. You know what I mean? And I think that's fair, in spite of the fact you can get $20 million. You have to find that material from somewhere else. And they must know where they could get it from and pay whatever they have to pay to get it. But in the meantime, they can't go and have any sort of damage. And I think the $20 million, they want to help the fishermen at Shipping Bay and do some other things, you know, and things like that, so as to compensate them, because during the dredging, they won't be able to go out as much. They don't really fish so much in the Fishing Bay area, I understand. That's where they're from. And they come back there with fish because, you know, those things are a little rough. Yes, so I just wanted to lay that out, and maybe we get some comments. And so from that, I just wanted to introduce the concept of seagrass and what it does, and
environmental impact as well.
Environment assessment, dredging, barometric studies. I mean, maybe it sounds very technical, but we got to simplify this so that citizens understand what's going on and these projects are really together. And so,
all right, so it's time for 9 o'clock across SVG. It's time for the ECCB Bank Race. This brought to you compliments the Bank of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Brick by brick, building, helping wealth increase, starting off, building future, doing more every day to